So, two of the biggest problems we found in revenue generation are this. And I'm going to start off with an analogy just to help really simplify things and clarify what I'm talking about. So, first, I want to talk about buckets. Company A has a bucket and their bucket leaks, and it's the leaky bucket. And what that means is this: they have a ton of water that is flowing into the bucket, but they can't ever hold on to any of the water because there's so many holes in the bucket, it just leaks out, and so the water's unusable. That's oftentimes where Company A has a ton of marketing. They have a lot of leads come in. They have leads that are really waiting to be educated, leads that are waiting to be nurtured, but they don't have any of those systems. They don't have any sales systems, any follow-up systems or processes. And so what happens is they have a lot of leads come in, and then they don't know what to do with those leads. And so all those leads leave. And then they're not able to actually access and tap into the potential of the marketing that's being done. And that bucket is actually a common problem in a lot of businesses, especially when they're trying to increase revenue, especially when they're trying to grow, especially when they are trying to expand into that next level. And more often than not, that bucket is one of the main problems that is preventing companies from moving forward. Bucket number two is a fantastic bucket. It has no holes, it has no leaks. It is the best bucket you could ever buy with money, and it is perfect. The problem with bucket number two is they don't have any water coming into the bucket. Nothing's flowing into the bucket. And so as a result, even though they have the best bucket in the world, the trickle of water that's coming in is not enough to get them to the next stage in revenue and to that next level. And these two problems require two different solutions. So bucket B, the one that has no water flowing into it, that one takes a top of funnel strategy to generate leads, aka water, to flow into the bucket, and it takes a top of line strategy to begin producing leads to flow into the company and into that process. That takes a more holistic approach. And that's where I've talked about in the past about our strategy for having a holistic approach to marketing, building out channels accordingly to where everything's working together to actually increase the lead flow and then the sales appointments and then thus revenue and top line. So that is normally what requires us to solve that problem. Problem number one, bucket A, what I was talking about, that bucket with the leaky bucket requires a different offering. It requires processes and frameworks to shore up that bucket, to make it watertight so that we're not losing anything, so that we're actually taking what is coming into the company in terms of leads and then building out a framework and a process to shore up all the holes to get the most out of each and every lead possible. That includes filtering, qualifying, and vetting. That also includes all of the follow-up processes, the nurturing processes. More often than not, it's not that you don't have bad leads, it's that you have no educational processes, you have no nurturing, you have no customer experience and journey. And so when you don't have customer experience and journey, when you don't have education or a way to educate and communicate with leads, you're going to clash with them and you're not going to connect with them. Everybody that is coming in through your door is a potential customer. It's really more of a question of how do you actually help them, educate them, connect with them, and then they actually become that customer. So those are the normal two problems that we've found that really hinder revenue generation in the company. They are very typical. Most of our customers fall into either one of these categories, the leaky bucket category or the no water category. And we have worked over the years to help people. We actually just recently worked with somebody and where we help them go into that next revenue line and that next level in revenue because they had a good bucket, but then they just did not have the water flowing into it, and vice versa. We've worked with lots of people. So those require two different strategies and approaches, and most of our customers typically fall into one of those two categories. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you later. Peace.